Hey, welcome back to another episode of Building Wealth with Real Estate. I'm Cameron Ripley, the broker owner of Vision Forward Realty and Purpose Home Loans. So in today's episode, this is pretty much episode 2 of the weekly deep dive on a few different deals. So in the first deal, we looked at a duplex in North Highlands, how much to buy it for, how much to increase the value. So we bought it for with $99,000 down. It was cash flowing right at the beginning, so you only had to use the income that the property was producing in order to qualify. You increase the rents by renovating the property, increase the value, whether that's a 2 year, an aggressive, push to make renovations, or that was a 5 year game plan where you're increasing the rents by 3 or 4% every single year. You get to a point where you have about 200,000 in equity. So 2 years, 2 to 5 years is the game plan. It just depends on how much money you have to make renovations on top of any additional repairs. And so everyone's situation is different. Obviously, I think you should try to aim for that 2 year game plan because then you get to about 200,000 in equity and you do a 1031 exchange. This is the next property we're going to look at, and there's some reasons why I like this property. So it's listed at 800 Main Street, Roseville, listed for 950. This is a triplex listed by Mark Vieira with Vieira Investments Incorporated. So this is 2 units are occupied and one is vacant. I do think that this property is a little overpriced. The reason why is, I mean, you can't really tell in the pictures. The pictures were definitely taken with their cell phones. He's saying something about it was renovated. I'd have to see. But it's only bringing in, there's one 2 bed, 1 bath that's bringing in $1,000 a month. Another 2 bed, 1 bath that's bringing in $1,528. That's a huge difference. And then one that's vacant. The nice thing about this property is for a triplex and in our greater Sacramento area that's not too rough, right? So still, great area, lower crime rate, pretty good school districts, which just means, higher potential or greater potential for higher rents. Um, it's nice to have one vacant unit because then you can get in there, you can make renovations right away. You can put in a new tenant at a higher market value for rent than most areas around this. Now, I can't really tell by the pictures if there are yards. I would say in our area, especially in Roseville, people like to have a yard. They will pay a markup in price for a yard. Just because why not? You have pets, you have kids, you just want to hang out in your yard. It's better than an apartment, so people will pay more than an apartment. Now, most apartments in this area are renting out for what they're renting out these duplexes for. So if you get a yard, I think that there's a lot more value to that. So I think there's a greater chance of you being able to increase the rents with this property. And with 20% down, then you can buy this property. So I would negotiate the price down quite a bit. I'd put my 20% down. I would save a little bit extra to make some renovations. Now, with this property, because it's not cash flowing right away, you just want to be prepared for that. You want to be prepared that you're going to have to take on a little bit of expenses, get those renovations done, and put in a renter pretty quickly. In our area, if you have a renovated property, you're going to find a renter very quickly. I mean, I'm probably talking, someone's ready to occupy it in 2 weeks. So I would do that with that one property, or what I would do with that one vacant unit is I would reach out to one of the other people. So it depends on, how leveraged you are with your income. So if you're a pretty high income earner outside of this property and you can handle that extra payment difference, between what you're producing and whatnot, then what I would do is I would take one of the other renters, probably the one that's paying $1,528 a month, and I would put them in the renovated unit, or at least give them the option first and say, hey, you're in this unit. Would you rather have this one for 1,700 a month or 1,600 a month? It's no problem if not, and just see what they say. That way, at least you have someone who can switch sides, and then you can go and you can renovate that unit. Also, whenever you're going renovate that other unit, when you're going to increase the rent on their side, you are able to justify why you're increasing it by, let's say it's 4%, which is usually in our area, it's around 3% rental increase every single year. So you increase it by 4%. Well, there's a reason why, because they have a renovated unit and they get used to it. And there's not that many other options out there. Plus, there's not a lot of landlords in our area, unfortunately, who are providing just a nice place to live. So The nice thing about this property is when you are increasing the rents this way, and in Roseville, there aren't that many triplexes, and they're really not building any anymore, as far as right now. Um, when you're increasing those rents as interest rates drop, you're able to sell at a cap rate that is such a dramatic increase in value. We're looking at probably selling for 1.2 if all three units, or 1.3 million if all three units are rented out. It just depends on where interest rates are at, what cap rate you can sell at, because, right, I want to either increase my buyer pool by marketing to people who are going to use a DSCR loan, or I'm going to let it sit on the market for a little bit longer just for that person who has cash that wants a good return on their investments. If interest rates are dropping, then obviously people are going to have more cash to put down and more people to qualify. So the nice thing about this property, once again, is that I this is like a buy and hold type of a property, right? I'm buying this because I know that there's a low inventory for this. It's in a good area. I have room to make renovations and put in good tenants and really make a cash flowing asset for the future. But if you wanted something more passive, then we'll look at a different opportunity out there. But I think this is a great one and a lot of potential. So hopefully this is helpful. If you have any questions about this or you want me to do a deeper dive into this specific deal, please feel free to reach out and I'd be happy to help. Thank you.